What's your favorite color? Why does summer make you sad? Do you crave the snow? Where did you get your favorite pair of shoes? Oh, I wanna know all the things that make you sing and tap your little toes. Oh, I wanna know.
Hello everyone and welcome to the very first episode of Craft and Tell. I'm so glad you're here to share this first episode with me because I have been working up to this for a very long time. You guys know I love crafting. I talk about it periodically. Once in a while I try to slip it in to my vlogs, my beauty videos, and I've always been looking for a way to share my crafting experiences with you. Originally I intended to do some type of DIY on camera demonstration to show you guys the craft in action, but unfortunately because of technical difficulties, setup, lighting, spaces, it just wasn't going to come out and come together like that. So I've decided to make a two-parter experience whenever I do a slightly bigger craft I would like to share with you. The first part is of course a blog post tutorial with photographs as always to walk you through exactly how I did the craft and things like that so you can see visual images. But the second part is exactly what you're watching, which is the craft and tell portion where I have a craft that I've done. I show you exactly how it looks like, how it works, if it's a functional piece, and especially any tips and tricks I've gathered along the way of doing this craft so you guys can get a little heads up about it. And I really hope that these videos and blog posts will inspire you to get into crafting yourself, because I think it's really such a wonderful skill and such a wonderful accomplishment and feeling, and just makes me very happy and want to be able to share that with you, and hopefully it translates through this video. So as you guys saw in the beginning of the introduction bit, we're going to talk about my jewelry box today. This is new. I finished it a few, maybe two weeks ago, possibly 3 weeks, and I love it. Now, the box itself, is from Michaels. Most of the things here are from Michaels, but of course, if you can find it in any other craft store or any other shop, feel free to get it over there. I was in Michaels for the very first time, and I saw this box and I was instantly in love. I had to have it because I've always wanted a jewelry box, and a lot of them are very, very expensive. Not to mention, they don't exactly come in all the colors that you want and all those finer details. So the box itself is unfinished wood when you first buy it. It has a glass pane right here. This opens with a latch to reveal different compartments that you can put your jewelry in. And also it has some gold hardware that comes with the box when you buy it. In addition, it does have a little sliding tray on the bottom that you can put further jewelries in. So first tip, if you're going to Michaels, is go online, print off one of their 40% off any single regular price item coupons. They have those. You can only use one per transaction or one per day or something like that, and it only works on one regular priced item. But if you find something that you really, really love, like I did, in the woodwork section in terms of this jewelry box, it will come in so handy. So this ended up being maybe $11, just under $12 for the box itself, without any paint, unfinished, just plain wood. Now, paints. Acrylic paint is what you should be using for these type of projects because it sticks to surfaces, it has nice opaque coverage and such things. Acrylic paint in terms of crafting was something kind of new to me. I've always worked with studio artist paints, and I was a little bit confused about what's acrylic craft paint. Well, let me tell you, it's a lot thinner in consistency, a lot more blendable, easy to work with. Number two, it's a lot less expensive. I have here the color, the main color for the box is from Craft Smart, and this is Robin's Egg Blue. This was originally priced at about $1 or something per bottle, and each bottle is 60 milliliters or 2 fluid ounces. I bought 4. And when I was up at the cash, they told me this was ended up being 50 cents each because of a special promotion. So I spent $2 on paint, but I only ended up using less than one entire bottle. I have this much left of this paint, and that covered this entire box, 2 coats and 3 coats in certain areas where it was hard to cover some wood grain. So you probably need less paint than you think you do, but I will say, tip number 2 is to buy a pre-mixed paint, because they do have a large color selection that you can choose from, so saves you some time and hassle. But two, if you're going to try to mix colors together to create a single shade, unless you're going to be painting your entire project in one sitting and you're mixing all the paint, your color in one go, you're really not likely going to be able to mix the exact ratio to get the color you wanted. It's going to be too light, too dark, one or the other, or just it won't look perfect to match the rest of what you already painted. So I really suggest you get a pre-mixed paint and buy enough bottles just in case. I mean, I'm happy that I still have 3 bottles of Robin's Egg Blue because I think this is a beautiful color. So that's the blue I used. The white is just some old, this is actually old because it was already in the house when I found it, apple barrel acrylic paint, and this is just white. And this is what I use on the inside portions of the jewelry box. So that's paint. Then you will also need varnish. This is important because this actually protects the surface of your work and also makes it wipeable with a damp cloth or anything like that, and just protects against wear and tear and just everyday usage really. If it is an item you're going to be using a lot, such as a jewelry box, you're going to open it, close it, pull open the drawers, things like that. So varnishes come in many different finishes, mostly matte or satin or glossy, depending on the look you're trying to go for. I picked up the satin varnish from Americana Duraclear. This is a huge bottle. Again, I used another one of those 40% off coupons on a separate trip to go get this. And this is actually called polyurethane satin varnish. This stuff smells really terribly, so please do this outside in a well-ventilated area and apply this in very thin coats. I chose a satin varnish because I was going for a bit of that shabby chic, boho, slightly distressed look to my jewelry box, because my jewelry box actually isn't perfectly made to begin with. There are a few cracks in the wood, not a big deal, but it's not pristine, so I didn't want to go for that pristine look either. So it really worked well with the satin finish varnish, or you could do a matte. Glossies usually work well if you want a really clean, glossy, super high shine, pristine type of look. Go for the glossy. Now, another tip I want to share with you is paintbrushes. I know you can get craft paintbrushes, but I actually use my studio artist paintbrushes for painting, and I thought they worked so well. A lot of craft brushes, especially the slightly cheaper ones, are really rough, and they make your surface look really streaky when you're trying to work in the paint, and they don't have such a clean cut line. It's hard to reach the corners, all sorts of small problems that can end up being a big hassle. So I have here 2 brushes from Opus that I used. These are both acrylic painting brushes. I have the big one is the Legato Brunel 550B. That's my 1-inch flat synthetic bristle brush. And then I have here the Arietta Synthetic 340R from Opus as well, in number 0, which is a much smaller detailing brush. So these 2 held me well through this entire project. Now, the last thing I think I want to share in terms of tips is I really think it's a nice look to do a dual toned finish or color code to your jewelry box, or color theme, shall we say. You can paint the whole thing whatever color you like, but I think the white really makes the jewelry inside stand out and look a lot more interesting and a nicer presentation overall. Also, a mini tip about if you do get paint on your hardware, because for me, I did not take out the hardware. I wasn't sure if I could put it back in the same way, as the box wasn't that well made to begin with, so I didn't take it off. But if you did get a little bit of paint on here, a cotton bud and a bit of nail polish remover, acetone pretty much, will take that right off before you gloss it over with varnish. So that's another tip in case you get a little bit messy. So the last thing I want to share with you is this, which is of course the bottom. Now, a tip, if you are, you can just leave this as it is with the wood, or you can paint over it, but I want to make a surface that wouldn't let the jewelry slide around if I put rings in here or anything like that. So I just took a piece of thick felt that you can buy from the craft store. I chose gray. I thought it worked well with the Robin's Egg Blue and with the white on the inside. Take a piece of felt, cut it to this dimension on the inside, double-sided tape, pop it on, tack the corners down, and you're good to go, and your jewelry will not slide around in here. So pretty much this is it. My little distressed jewelry box. I have the blog post tutorial on how this went and the different steps in detail. If you're interested in that, please take a look. I'll put the link to that down in the information box down below. Have a look. And I really hope that this video inspire you to get into a bit of crafting on your own. Altogether, I think the price of this craft was maybe about $20, minus time. But in terms of all the equipment or materials, things like that, it wasn't too expensive. I ended up with a very beautiful box that I've been really enjoying using, probably for many years to come as well. So, thanks for joining me for this video. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.